up, everybody? It's Omar. It is February 26th, 7:11 p.m. in the evening, and I want to make a video building my watch list for tomorrow. Just reviewing it quickly. So I'm tired. So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity tomorrow. I narrowed it down to about 10 stocks I think I have here. You know, stuff with volume that's easier to trade than some of the other stuff I might have put on this list. I had some nice stocks on my watch list today. Momo had some nice opportunity on Momo, on X, on NIHD. Really nice OAS. There was an opportunity to play it both ways twice. There was some good stocks. You know, we had a big mover today, ZSAN, which I'll talk about. You know, it was up over 100% at one time, so that could be the beginning of these low floaters running again, and the Dow keeps going up. I mean, I'm still bearish on the Dow. I still think there's going to be an event, and you're going to see a big crash. I think we're going to see like a $4,000 or $5,000 drop in one day. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what I think is going to happen at some point this year. I could be wrong, but hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll see. Anyway, with that said, let's start going through the watch list. AKER, you know, back. You know, this stock doesn't want to die. You know, with all the momentum now in biotechs, you know, we can see some more momentum tomorrow. You know, so let me zoom. Let's put the 5 minute. It's because 2 5 minutes fine. All right, so you know, so I have a high set for 59 cents, which was 59.5, which is to the high a couple of days ago. So if it could break above that and hold it, you know, make sure that it tests and holds it. Take it long. We can see another move up. Next support level below it is 54.5. Today it hit a high of only 58, but don't buy the hold of 58. Buy the high of 59.5. So if it breaks above 59, sorry, 59.5, take it long. Otherwise, you can short it if you can find the shares to short. If you have like interactive brokers, you'll be able to find the shares to short. If it pulls back at the open and holds 54 cents, 54.17, you see it has clear support here. You can dip buy it there, risking off that. Otherwise, if it breaks below it, you can short it. And then the next level below it is 52 cents. So it has some support here, 52. If you can hold 52, you can dip buy it there. And then if it breaks below it, you got some support here, 48, 47 cents. But I'm looking at, for me, these three key levels. These were here from when I did this watch list maybe like a week ago or something like that. It hasn't got back down there yet. So it's been holding this. So that tells me, you know, the potential is there for it to move. You know, again, it got to a high of 63. So be careful at that 63 level if it breaks 59.5, because that's clear resistance. So it may get rejected at 63. So be careful if you buy 59 to see what it does when it gets back to 63. Okay, so next up, NIHD. NIHD is another, you know, stock I traded on Friday. Nice move, nice winner for me. You know, it's up. You know, it doesn't want to die yet, and it's had, you know, 2 green strong days. You know, I don't know what it's gonna do. You know, it's had multiple green days before, but nothing with this kind of volume and range. You know, this 15 million shares traded today and 9 million. 15 million shares Friday and 9 million today. So you know, it lost a little volume, but it's still, I mean, that's a lot of volume. So you know, the way I'm looking at it is if it you know, it's holding its high, so that tells me, you know, there may be potential for a move up. So if it can break above 125 and hold, take it long. If it can't hold 125, take it short. The next key support level here for me would be 114. If it can hold 114, I dip buy it there. Otherwise, like, you could short it. The next key level for a dip buy is 107. If it holds 107, you can dip buy it there. Otherwise, you can short it. And those are the 3 key levels that I'm looking at. I mean, obviously, there's more support here at $1 and then 87 cents. And I had these here marked from the other, you know, from the last time I put this on my watch list. These are all potential dip buys if it tanks. I mean, you can watch. But I'm really looking at these 3 levels here, 125, 114, and 107, to see how it reacts. If it gets back down there tomorrow, maybe it just runs. Who knows? We'll see. Next up, TTPH. TTPH is up, 30%, which is crazy. So it has these key support levels. Now, the thing that really interests me about TTPH, I remember this stock. This is that stock that tanked from 5 to 2. Now, what interests me is that if we look at the yearly chart, there is no resistance all the way up to $5. So if it could break 292 and run, there's no reason why this can't get to 5. Now, I'm not going to say that it's going to get to 5 tomorrow, but other traders may be looking at this and they may be thinking, oh, it's a good buy, and they may buy and hold, and that may drive the price of the stock up. You may not see a lot of people trying to sell. We'll see. I mean, maybe not. Maybe tomorrow just freaking tanks, But it had some volume. Its average volume is 1.4 million shares, and today had 8.5 million shares traded. So if you can get above 292 and hold, buy it. Remember, $3, whole numbers, a psychological resistance barrier. So look at $3, $3.50, $4. Those are all big resistance points. Okay, so keep an eye on that if you buy it above 292. If you can't hold it, you can short it. Next key support level for me is this 267 level right in here. So if it can hold 267, really anywhere between 267 and 263, if it can hold that, that's a potential dip buy. All right. Otherwise, you can take a short looking at that 250 level. So 250 is a big number. So if it could hold 250, let's say if it starts tanking, you could buy the dip. Otherwise, you could short the 250, and then the next key level below that would be 235, and then it would be dying. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see. Next up, ACHN. I'm just looking at this for one reason, because it had this big green day, and it's been flat for the most part. Let me do 5-day 15-minute. You see, it's kind of just been trading in this range. So I'm really just looking at it for one opportunity. If it breaks above 346 and holds, really, and you can, if you don't want to do off this, you get 350 and holds, because that's a whole number. Go long on it, because the biotechs are running. There's another biotech. All these pharmaceutical and biotechs are moving. So the opportunities there. This stock has gone as high as 566. It had a big let me see. I'm looking at the candle. Oops. It's had a big move before. It opened at 470, hit a high 566. So it's done it before. I remember this day actually. So it has the potential to do it. So let's keep that on watch. The Dow is strong tomorrow, and biotechs are running. Maybe there's no reason why this can't move. So let's see if we can get that. I mean, potentially you can look for a dip buy if you wanna, if you wanna keep an eye at this 337. And then 330 mark, and then 322 if you want to put support levels. I don't care about any of those. I wanted to move with some range, so I'm looking at the breakout. Next up is TAHO. So it's up today 20%. Its average volume is 3 million shares. Today was 11, so it got a lot of volume today. And I've traded this stock before. So, I'm looking right now to see what it's going to do. If it holds at 484, if it breaks above it and holds it, I'm going to take it long. Otherwise, I'm looking for a potential dip buy at this 469 level. If it holds 469, I'll buy the dip. Otherwise, you could take a short. The next level below is 454. If it can hold 454, you could buy the dip. Otherwise, take a short. And the next level below that's 441. If it can hold 441, you buy the dip. Otherwise, you can short it. And if it doesn't hold 441, you can get this thing could potentially touch $4. So that's a real good level to see. If it really can't hold that, it'd be a nice short. I don't know if it's easy to borrow too on Thinkorswim. So if it's easy to borrow with Thinkorswim, it's easy to borrow everywhere. All right. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Next up, PGNX. I've traded this stock several times. This is a stock that is one of those stocks when it moves, it's weird. It's like slow moving, but it just moves. But it's slow. So like you buy and you can set a stop and just forget about it. If it breaks, I'm looking only one level. If it breaks above 657 and holds, I'm gonna take it long. Otherwise, I'm not looking at it. And remember, guys, I'm not saying this. I don't say it enough, but remember, you always want to look to see what the next resistance level above. So look, the next resistance level above is 675. So that's what you should be looking at for a potential exit, or to see what it's gonna do. If it's because it may reject 675 and then just tank, all right, or maybe just blows through it and keeps rolling. So you should always kind of look to see what the next resistance level above a stock is, just so so that you don't get caught out there. All right. Next up is ARWR. So what really interests me about this stock is that the yearly high is 675. It hit a high 668 and then retraced back to 650. So what I would love to see is, for me, I would like, if it breaks above 668 and holds it, you could potentially take it long. But I would really be interested is if it broke above 675. If it broke above 675 and it holds, take it long, because that's a yearly breakout and it'll pop on everybody's scanners. Now, if it pulls back and holds 650, I buy the dip. Otherwise, you could take a short. Those are the two key areas that I'm looking at. And if you short it, you could probably potentially see the stock get back to like maybe the 620 level, and see what would happen in this level for a potential dip buy, or or if it rejects it, I mean, this thing will tank back to 6 and then maybe even below that. So keep an eye out for those potential areas. So again, I'm looking really at the 675 level and the 650. Those are the two key levels, even though I have an alert set at 668. Because if it gets to this and it can't hold it, then you can short it. It'd be a great short at that right around that level. Next up, this was the big monster today, Zan. I don't know what caused it to move. I missed this whole play. But this stock, its daily average is 94 million. It's 94,000 shares. It's 5 million. And the only reason why this kept moving is because idiot short sellers. Why would you want to short a stock, a low floater that's running with news? So any stock that is 20 million or less shares available to trade is considered low float. And think of the lower the shares, think of it like equated to horsepower in a car. So the less shares there are to trade, the more horsepower it is, the faster the stock moves. So you gotta be crazy to short this stock on the first day. Sometimes people get they catch it, and if you would have caught it at 11 and took it down, you would have did great. But first off, you need to find the shares to short, and it's very hard to find shares to short of a stock like this with not many shares available. You need a good broker to be able to find you those shares. It looks like here, like I'm just looking at this to see. Yeah, it's hard to borrow. So Thinkorswim had shares to borrow. It's just they were hard to borrow, but they had them, which is interesting. So and it's already tanking. You see, it's holding now. This is post market. It's holding the 732 levels. So what is it? 743. Let me zoom in. I mean, more than likely tomorrow it'll die, but maybe not. 735. So let's put an alert. Let's fix this. We'll make this 735, and then we're gonna create an alert to say buy break above 735 if holds, or short rejection. Now what happens sometimes with these low float runners is that these short sellers are holding overnight thinking that it's going to tank, and what happens is sometimes it holds a clear support level and then they all cover and it causes an artificial spike, and then guys who like me who are aware of this will buy the stock just to ride the wave up. And what happens is new short sellers come in to try to short it, and more buyers come in than sellers that are willing to sell. And because the float rotation is so low, like all the shares get bought and sold like really fast, so it squeezes them out. They have to cover their shares because they panic because the stock is going up really fast. So tomorrow you could see another day 2 squeeze and this thing could just run. So really this will be on watch for sure. I'm really gonna be watching to see how it moves pre-market. We'll see. So just to say a key level, so if it breaks above 11 and holds tomorrow, guys, take it long. That means it's really gonna run. If it could break 11 tomorrow, this stock, if it could break 11 tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing hits like $15, $20 tomorrow. I mean, seriously. So keep it on watch if it attempts to get back up here. It may die, who knows, but we'll see. Now, if it can't hold it, if most of you watching this probably can't find the shares to short, but if you can, You can short risking 11 if it can't hold it. Next key level is 954. Now it's below it right now. So let's think of it in this way. If it breaks above 825 and holds, go long. If it holds above 880, if it can get up to 880 and hold, go long. If it gets above to 954 and holds, go long. Because these are clear support levels. Now they're all resistance levels because it's below it now. But you know, these are areas to keep in mind to potentially go long if they hold, because those are key resistance areas. All right. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. It'll be interesting. Next up is AEO. AEO, this stock has just been grinding up. I don't know. Is American Outfitters, do people still wear this shit? I don't even know. But anyway, it's just been on this big grind. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen tomorrow. Is it going to break 1990 and make a move to 20? Now, if it breaks 1990 and holds, and it breaks 20 and holds, this thing, who knows how much it can run. I mean, I would have to look further back in the time frame. So like I would have to go, let's say 5 years, and see if with this stock where it was 5 years ago. You know, this stock has 5 years ago, it hit a high of $22. So I mean, there's potential for it to get up there, and the next kind of resistance level up here is I don't know what, $21. So I mean, we'll see. Now if it can't, right now it's currently at 1946, so we'll see what happens. But the key level I'm looking at here is 1965. So if it holds 1965, I buy the dip. Otherwise, I short it. And then I'll be looking at that 1950 level to see what's going to happen, because it might just bounce off 1950 and run. But if it breaks below 1950, I think this thing is going to get below $19, only because people are going to take profit, because this thing has just been on a tear, you know? So those are the two key levels I'm looking at tomorrow. The safest place if it breaks above 1990 and holds. We'll see. Next up is HPQ, Hewlett Packard. So Hewlett Packard has been another stock that, you know, has been sort of on this run, and you know, it had a big red day the other day, but it had a big green day, so it had a whole new set of buyers, and it's getting close to that yearly high. So 2410, you should definitely keep your eye on that. Now if it can break above 2355 and hold, take it long. Otherwise, if it gets to that area and can't hold it, short it. And then I'd be looking for a potential dip by 2322. If it could hold 2322, I would probably, in that area, 2322, 2320, if it holds it, I'd buy the dip. Otherwise, you could take a short. And just know that there is some support here at $22. So you want to see how it reacts to 22 if you were going to trade this. All right, we'll see what happens tomorrow. And then last but not least, CRSP. You know, this was too good a chart for me not to put on, even though it's 48. Don't be afraid to trade these higher price stocks, guys. You got to get comfortable trading all kinds of, and my strategy is cool in the sense that you can trade anything, because it's all just simple support and resistance. That's all we're playing off of. It's not no crazy strategies. It's as simple as possible. So you can use, you can apply this to even cryptocurrency. You can apply this to futures. Like there's somebody who tweeted me and said, yo, I'm using your strategy on futures and it's been working great for me. So that's great. And that's all it is, guys. Remember, these are all literally digital dots on a screen. Nobody knows what they're going to do. So people need some sort of catalyst to get a sense of when to buy or not. And what they look for is certain patterns, and support and resistance are is the number one thing that drives everything. All right. So what we want to see is tomorrow, you know, it's a therapeutic company. You see, all these biotechs are running, man. If it can break above 49.72, go long. Look at 50. 50 is gonna be key. It may get rejected at 50, but if it holds 50 and runs this, who knows where this shit can go tomorrow. I mean, this opened up at $43, hit 49, which is pretty crazy. You know, it retraced down to that $48 level. So if it holds 48, you know, buy the dip. Otherwise, if it doesn't hold it, take a night. This thing will be a nice short tomorrow, because, you know, I would expect people are gonna want to take some profit. So, you know, if it can't hold 48, this thing can get back to like $46, believe it or not, before for $47 or $46. So, you know, I think it would test 47 and see if it holds 47. Otherwise, buy the dip at 47. Otherwise, this thing gets down back to 46. So we'll see. This stock is going to have some range tomorrow. So even 100 shares will get you, you know, do well. All right, folks. So that's my watch list for tomorrow. I'm going to post this on Twitter. Please like, subscribe, and share. And have a great evening. Let me know how you guys been doing. If you've been trading, what's been going on. You know, give me some feedback. Let me know how you guys are doing. All right.